right, so I joined Annie from Annie's Simple Life for a Pinterest Truth or Fail recipe challenge. I chose a homemade Quest bar recipe that I found on Pinterest, and here's the website. And as I started to look at the recipe, it seemed a little bit too easy to be true, just from not a lot of ingredients. But anyway, I figured I'll just see what happens, but I'm very convinced that the photo is a real Quest bar. But anyway, here's the recipe I followed, and then if you scroll down, you will see different add-ins that you can choose from. I began with a 1/4 cup of peanut butter and measured it out. I microwaved it in that clear bowl right after I videotaped this because I wanted it to be mushy or whatever. And then I grabbed my protein powder, and by the time I got to the second scoop, I started to feel really confused, like there was just way too much dry to wet ratio. But I went and added the flaxseed, like the recipe said, and then added in 3 squirts of stevia, which is what the recipe recommended. And I began to stir, and I was like, okay, it's super dry. It's like the tundra out here. I think the tundra's dry. If not, then I meant the desert. But anyway, I'm stirring it around and I'm like, this sucks. So I add a 4th cup of water, and it's still just not doing anything for this recipe at all. And so then I add another 4th cup of water, and I'm still getting really pissed off at this point. And I'm stirring away, and then I think I just decide I'm going to grab some vanilla extract to add some extra flavor into this and maybe some extra liquid. Began stirring it some more, added another 4th cup of water because it was so dry, and finally started to get it to a consistency that seemed appropriate for bar making. And then I sprinkled in some cinnamon because I was like, dude, cinnamon roll flavor, that sounds great. And so added that in, began stirring, and was like, okay, tons of water later, here we go, and started to make the bars, which if you've ever tried to make a square shape with your hands, it's almost impossible, and I started to really feel terrible about my bar skills. But nonetheless, here are the bars, and after that, you simply just sprinkle it with some cinnamon to make it that cinnamon roll flavor, and then you put it in the fridge for 40 to 50 minutes, according to this recipe. So there it goes, and then we will hear the verdict now. They're kind of floppy, and they were in the refrigerator for about an hour and a half, but I'm gonna give it a little bitesy and see how it is. No, that's not good. I just knew. I was like stirring that bowl, and you saw me adding in all that water. The recipe said you would maybe need 2 tablespoons, and as I was stirring it, I was like, no, this is not gonna be right. So now I'm off to salvage the recipe because I used a lot of protein powder, and that stuff was expensive. So I'm gonna try and find another recipe that includes all those ingredients and some more in order to hopefully be able to eat it so it did not go to waste. Wish me luck.